Alrighty. So I had ordered some headers. They were the Hedman 88. I think it was 653. They were black and ceramic coated. But then I went to Summit's outlet in Arlington and was looking around and saw these. And these are 88658s, which are the same thing, only heavier gauge steel, silver, and so these are 14. The other ones I was ordering were 16 gauge. These are 14 gauge, so a little bit thicker. These are the extreme duty, whereas the others were street. Same output is 3 inches. The input is 1 5/8. So that's all the same. Hopefully these fit, because these were demo units. I paid like 25% of what the original headers that I bought and were waiting on cost, and so I canceled that order and brought these home. And so this is where I'm worried about, is on the driver's side. You can see the front's not too bad. I got some clearance there, but at the back I have the brake booster, the rack and pinion that I put in, and then there's a little bracket back there. You can see it right there. That goes on the tranny. That's just for holding the hydraulic line. I may not keep that on there anyways, so that might not be a big deal. These headers were actually listed as ones that would work for this rack and pinion, so I'm going by that. And you can see on the passenger side there's plenty of room. I don't think I'm going to have any clearance issues there, other than the only thing I can see is, we don't have a whole lot of room between the engine and the shock tower on either side, but I think I'm pretty well centered on the engine, so that should be good. Alright, let's see what these look like. I somehow don't think I'm going to get through that way, so you can see that my 3-inch collector is not going to fit through there, so I am probably going to have to jack the car up and come up from underneath. Fun stuff. Alright, it's a tight squeeze. I have it hanging here right now, just hanging out, but I pressed it up against the head here and it will fit. I can't do it with one hand. I could get all the spark plugs out of the way except for that one right there. I couldn't get, but sorry, went out of focus. I had to loosen these nuts up and let the master cylinder kind of pivot a little bit to get it up to where I needed to get it up and over. But I think it'll work. The only thing I'm worried about is right there, that brake line is pretty close. I might have to see about bending that a little bit differently. And then there's a brake line right there that I'm going to bend out of the way. That's one of those little flexible brake lines to the rear, coming from the proportioning valve that I just put under here. But I think if I bend it in a little bit, that'll be out of the way. So those are the two things I'm worried about. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go with it. I'm not pulling it out of there because putting it in there was a bitch. So looking at it from underneath, I am going to have to do something with this this hydraulic clutch line. Let's see if I can get it better. There we go. This hydraulic clutch line is going to have to move somewhere. I'll have to figure that out. I figured that was going to be an issue, and then there's that brake line that I was worried about, I believe. Actually, no, that's that one. There's this one here. Oh, this is the rear brake line coming in the back, so if I can get that closer to the quarter, or the interior of this tunnel, and maybe I can just put a bracket or something to hold it up against that, so that'll be out of the way. So there's definitely some stuff to do. Okay, what I did here is I threw in the I threw in the front bolt first, threw in the back bolt. The gasket's on there, so I don't have to take this back off. And now I'll try and get all the rest of those bolts in between, but I wanted to do was just get it flush against that head to see what our clearance was looking like. I was concerned about that bottom header right here, but there's a little clearance there, so we got clearance. So we should be all right there. I was thinking I might have to ding this to get a little dimple in there, but looks like we should be good as long as this engine doesn't rock around. But I think with these mounts, these new mounts and everything, we should be in good shape. Now I'm going to try and do the other side, which will be harder, if any. We look pretty good down here. Lots of room between the shock tower and the headers. Big issue I'm concerned about is like right over here. You got this, is just right on that. This is a bracket that I have for, and I talked about these in earlier videos, for the proportioning valve under here. So that's going to be sitting pretty close to the proportioning valve. These are ceramic coated headers that I got, so the heat will stay in them more or less. So I can put that back in, and it looks like we'll still have clearance between them. It's gonna be tight. You can see that brake line is right on the header right there. So I'm gonna try and move that brake line right there, and then underneath the car. Oh, you can see this hydraulic hose for the clutch to cut. It's going to be right in the way. I'm going to figure that out. And then this brake line over here, it goes to the back. I should be able to get that one, like I said, up against the inner transmission tunnel, and I should be okay there. Not sure what I'm going to do about this guy yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay, getting ready to install my fuel supply line. It's going to go in here. So this is the front piece here, and it goes in through this hole here and runs along the frame there and into that hole right there, and goes across, and that's where it connects into the rest of the line. We're going to have a AN hose between the two hard lines, so I'm going to throw that in. Okay, so you're going to come in from the front. You got to get underneath this brake line here. So I'm going to put it there, and not putting it up against the frame just yet, because I need to roll it kind of back this way. And get to that hole here. And as it goes in there, I have to kind of roll it back up. Drop in, and there we go. So now it's running along there. It goes into that hole. Looks like there's a couple mounting points for the brackets that we're going to put on there, so I'm going to go grab those. And here's the back side of that where it comes out. So we're going to connect to this, and then the other hard line is going to start right here, it looks like. So we're going to test fit that, and then we'll give it a whirl. Alright, after getting it in there, I realized that we need to be in this front bottom hole, not this hole. So this guy here, and then runs along there, and there's the mount point. I might have to kind of push down and get a mount on there, but we'll see. And then into the rocker there. I was super excited. The kit that I bought came with a grommet. And look, it's even split, so I can easily put that on there after putting it in there. So I'm going to slide that dude on. Get a little more play if I pull this out here. That works. Try and slide this grommet on. These aren't always easy to get in. I have to get a flathead, kind of push it in there. We'll see, hold on. Trying to do that without damaging the grommet. It's not always easy. I think might be good. So this side right here. There we go. It's a little split, but just check the other side. It's on one on both sides. Let's show you. So there it is, right there. A little dirty. So kind of pull this side out right here. It's where it's. There we go. Sorry, bad filming. There we go. Alright, I'm putting on the first mount here. And you can see these aren't bent exactly perfect. I mean, none of these cars were made perfect. In the fact that this hole doesn't line up with that hole very well. So what I'm going to try and do is take this and push it down a little bit as I put this bolt in, but that's not moving very well. Nice. So I'm going to start with the back one because I got a little more flex on the back one. Let's get over there. And I think when I flex this one, because this one's going to go, should be over the top, and you can see that the hole, well, I don't know if you can see it, the hole's underneath. So I'm going to try and get that bent down so that I can put that bolt in. Let's see. Oh, that's a long ways. I think I can do it though. Starting to get there. Going in good. So I'm not going to tighten it quite all the way down. It's almost there. I can get to the other side again and see if I can't put that one on. Alright, back to this side. And I wonder if bending that over there made this line up a little better. Not really. Ah, shit. I'll try it this way. Let's see if I got different mounts just to see if there are any different ones. These all look the same. So that's not going to help. Same, so I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do is start without putting it on there tight. This is kind of over the top right now. And as I tighten this down, the hoping it'll work the fuel line to where it needs to go. Just by doing that. Looks like that's working. Yep, that's pushing that down. Cool. That's what we want. And now I'll go ahead and tighten both these. I'm sure these need to be good and tight. So I gotta try and torque spec on them, but I don't know what that is off the bat, so. Okay, and you can see while I was messing with all that, my brake line clip came out, so I have to work on putting that back in. It's gonna go right there. Gotta go get a nut driver for it. So let's go do that. And hopefully this goes back in without having to get another a bigger bolt or something to fit in there. Hopefully I didn't strip out the metal when it popped out. We'll find out here in a minute. There we go. Yeah, it's not staying. That's not gonna work. So have brake line. Oh yeah, I can see there's a little bit of metal on the outside of this guy right here. I don't know if you can see that. So that's what happened, because it just popped the metal. But I have brake line mounts, so I'm going to see if they have better bolts in them. So we'll see. Hold on. All right, I found something that's threading in, pushing in real good. That's good. The other one probably wasn't in there real great anyways, just because the way it popped out there, it probably didn't fit. One thing I got to do here is take this shipping bend out. All right, now I got the back line laid out. You can see it's kind of has a short piece right there that's going to go out just on the other side of this guy, and we'll have a AN hose between the two with clamps. And then I'm knocking stuff over there. Takes a sharp 90 degree out towards the rocker panel, so it's going to be right along the rocker there. So I'm going to have to straighten that out a bit. It looks like that was this bin that I had in there, and it goes up and over the rear end. So this is going to be like impossible for me to film while doing it. I'm going to need two hands, and my stand's not going to work under here, so I'm going to just put this up here and film the aftermath. Alright, I was super excited to find this. I had a bunch of stuff stolen when I had a trailer stolen. What are you complaining about, huh? Had a bunch of stuff stolen when I had a trailer stolen, and this was not in it apparently. So some of the boxes I had here in my garage had my, this is the protector for the fuel line on the back. I'll show you where that goes. And I need it for mounting because it holds the fuel line up. I get under the car. Oh, got some help here. I'm gonna have to edit that part out. Okay, so right here on the torque box, this guy's gonna go over the fuel line and then up. Oop, and I have it. Yeah, I have it the right way. So it's gonna go up onto there. So I just need to grab the bolts and I'll put that up there, and that'll be my next step. I already installed the front of this. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, so this guy here, that was a new mount on that kit that I got from CJ Pony. And then there's another one. I got to get the rubber hose between the two of those, but that should be pretty quick, and I might have to undo that guy to get that on there, but that's not a big deal. Okay, this is looking at the fuel line from the rear. It's the sending unit fuel pump that I got. You see there's a little gap there. I'm gonna have to use a AN hose for that. Looks like they're not quite lined up, so I'll push that in. There was already a clip here that it looks like I didn't take off. I'm gonna kind of try and push that in a little bit more with a pair of pliers or something. And then it goes around this way and up into the wheel well along the frame rail there, and then down, and now I'm upside down, so hang on. So up into that wheel well, down, and then towards the front. You can see there's a clip there that I already had. That one I just left in and used it again because, and I'll show you the reason why here in a minute. But then it goes up and let's see, that way. And I was wondering about this little circle here, if it should go through there, but the way it's bent, it looks like it needs to stay up on there. So I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I don't think I'm gonna try and bend it to go down into that that hole. So let's go towards the front. All right, looking at it from the front of the car, you can see it's coming from the rear there, and then there's that whole bracket thing that I was talking about that I'm not going to use, and then it goes along the top there, and then there's that torque box fuel line protector that I was talking about earlier, and I'm going to kind of go along here. This is looking towards the front. There's that clip that I put in earlier, and the other clip in the front of it where it comes through. You can see where the other one comes through the short line in the front. But you can see this is kind of hanging down a little bit. I don't like the way that's sitting. That's why I used the that old clip in the back, because I'm going to take one of the new clips. I'm going to put it on this, and I'm going to kind of pull it up into there with a self-tapping screw. Alright, and that's what it looks like with the little self-tapping clip in there. So I didn't end up self-tapping so great, so I drilled the hole, pre-drilled it with a little bit smaller bit, and then it tapped in, no problem. And then it goes right to there. That keeps it pulled up, so it's not hanging like it was. Now I'm going to measure and cut a little bit of hose for that in. Alright, this stainless hose, not easy to cut, so what I do is wrap it with some masking tape, take my glasses off, put some goggles on, cut off wheel, and just nice and easy, no pressure, just to cut right through. That's what I need there. This is going to go between the, hopefully between the line, the hard line, and the sending unit. All right, that's what that looks like on there. So I just got the two clamps. Had to just unhook it from that clip there, kind of give it a little bit of room to slide onto this side. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. Did that up front with hooking the two hard lines together as well, and now I need to get the line from the hard line to the engine. All right, I went ahead and mounted the fuel filter right there on the inner part of the shock tower. I just used a couple of self-tapping screws, and there's the hard line down there. I'm going to measure up a stainless steel braided line, and from there to there, and then from here I got to go across to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off, put it over here, and plug this side, plug the other side. So what I did on this one, and I should have videotaped that, was I left the blue tape on and got everything tucked in to the into this fitting, and then once I did that, I pulled the tape off and started my reverse or the counterclockwise motion to twist this on. I put the end on, and it was all good. All right, originally I was going to take this straight AN fitting and put it on top of the fuel filter like so, but that caused this to sit too high, so I put the elbow on there, and now I'm going to go across here one way or another. I got to move this stuff over to this side as I drop everything there, but first I want to put the air conditioner bracket on and kind of see where the air conditioner is going to sit. That way I know where the fuel line can go without running into that, because that's going to be probably right in this area right here, so I might be able to go behind it, so we'll see. Use this way. Alright, so this guy is going to attach to the front of the cylinder head like so, but you can see it's going to go right there where the power steering rear bracket is, so I'm going to have to pull that off, slide this. It looks like this is the same width as that spacer, so we're just going to use it as the spacer and slide it in there. Okay, start by pulling this off. Alright, I'm going to set that aside, and I'll take probably, so I'm going to take the bolt that I took from the power steering rear bracket. I'm going to replace it because the other one that they told me and that they gave me wouldn't be long enough based on that. So this. So get it lined up there. Get one of these shorter ones. And there. That gives me a good idea where that AC compressor is going to sit. which will help with deciding what to do with this guy. Let's slide this out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten those down. Those are 40 foot-pound torque. There we go. All right. There's those two. There's going to be another one. It looks like it's the hex head underneath, so I'm going to go grab that one. Okay, now I'm going to put the square head on there, or the hex head. That goes on the bottom. So this tells me a couple things. One, my coil was supposed to mount right here, so I either need to figure out how to mount it with this or find a different place to mount it. I'm thinking right here right now, so we'll figure that out in a few minutes. The other thing is that the AC compressor is going to sit up here, so I need to figure out where I can put this line so that it's not going to hit that AC compressor. So I'm going to tighten this last bolt down. There's a hole there in the power steering bracket, which is nice. Gives me room to work. Okay, after looking at it, looks like I should be able to put the coil right here. So, pop that onto the middle there. See, I'm lined up with the hole. I have to kind of bring it up a little bit just for that length of this cable. That's fine. So I'm going to go grab a 7/16 for that and screw it in. So it's an 8mm and a screwdriver to loosen this guy up here. Basically, when I tightened it up, these went out of a line to the point where I couldn't get the bolt through. Back over here. Something's telling me I need to clean up all my wires. I'm going to get an extension for this. Should be good there. I'm going to tighten it down a little bit more once I get the coil in here. Too much, so I'm going to leave it up a little bit. And I don't want it too high either, so should be good. A little play there, and I might end up turning that. Yeah, there we go. Turn that a little. That's why I left it somewhat loose, so I can get a little bit of a play on that. So now I have a little bit more. So 8mm on the back here. Place. Hopefully, cannot get to this very easily with my screwdriver, of course. That's why I wanted to tighten it down out of the car. screwdriver, see if I can fit it in there. Yeah, I can barely fit that in there, but it works. Almost seems like a uber long one would work too. Let me try to get a real long one. Hold it with the screwdriver in this case, just because it's at a weird angle. And I can easily run a socket on the other side, or I could turn this around, I guess. This will work. Still a little loose, so I'm going to tighten that down some more. I'm going to get an 8mm socket, it'll be quicker. See how that looks? Yep, that'll work. Alright, that's good. Still have a pretty good play on that. So I'm going to tighten down that other bolt. I pulled out a few tools. I'm going to tighten this down if I can. Alrighty. And that should be good. Coil's installed. Well, it's almost. I still got to get my positive and negative here. Okay, with that there, now I can look at this a little bit better. So, that's not going to work because they're going to be right on top of that AC compressor. This isn't going to work because we're going to be right on top of the AC compressor, right in front of it, and we'll have a chance of hitting the actual belt looking like this. I had a thought last night about running through here. It's kind of goofy. I don't know if I want to go that far. I'd rather be just on that side. Too much stuff in the way. So it's going to be right there. It's not going to work. This is going to be right there. That's not going to work. That's a thought. That might work. So I can always run it right here all the way to the other side and attach it to, say, like the front of this rail or something, so that it doesn't come back and hit the AC compressor or anything. I don't want it riding on that necessarily, so I'll have to figure that out. Or maybe you can go something like this so that it's more tucked away. be. See, the difficult part is the fuel pump was originally the mechanical fuel pump, and it was all down below there. So now we're coming up top, and it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to. This is not going to be in the stock locations. Kind of like something like this, even though it sits higher up. That a very clean edge. I'm going to leave the tape on there. I got the end already popped off here from the angle. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put it in the vise. Just I give it a good squeeze so it doesn't move on me. And then I've got a little screwdriver here. Get kind of the edges in there. Anything that doesn't go in, I kind of pop in with the screwdriver. Set that down. And then I go counterclockwise here. And then, now that I got everything kind of tucked in, I'm going to pull this tape. And a little bit of it may or may not. Pressure forward though to make sure it doesn't pop out. That's what I was trying to keep it from doing, dang it. Squeeze here. And it doesn't look like I lost a bunch of, it didn't fray a bunch, so that's good. I'm going to find the end of this tape though, it'll be a little easier. This part off of there. So now I'm just to the bottom piece of tape. Which is good. Now, pull the rest of the tape off. So there's 2 layers of tape. This is the, I just got down to the first layer is what I did there. So now, pull that off. Bit still in there, so I need to kind of work on getting that out. Just a little bit at a time. Snip. probably the hard way of doing it, you know. That's how I do things. Now I don't have any frayed ends showing up here. I can push and do my counterclockwise motion, and it's going in very nicely now. I'm going to loosen that up. See where we're at. Perfect. So now, take the end there, screw that on. Tight by hand. Now I'm going to go grab a couple of wrenches and finish it up. And I know there's AN wrenches for these. I'm cheap, so it is what it is. That's a 3/4 or a 19 on both of these. One more. This thing it'll stop when it's on. Just like that. Okay. Alright, I still got my pivot, so that's good. Nice and clean. Alright, let's see how that looks. Slide that under that way. And take that, pivot it down. Voila. I think that works. Now, I'm probably going to pull this guy off down here. I don't know if you're seeing where I'm pointing is that bottom. Probably going to pull this guy off right here and redo it because I am not happy with that. And every time I look in here, I look at it and I want to redo it. Alright, so I had redid that bottom one. That was just ugly, so I had to redo it. Just couldn't look at it. So now look, I can even touch it. So I'm also changing my mind on this guy. So I put the elbow over on this side. I ordered another elbow, and I'm going to remount the filter. I was trying different locations, but I'm going to have an elbow over there, elbow over here, and that'll give us a little bit straighter path to the inlet over here. So I think that'll be a little bit cleaner looking. Okay, I didn't end up filming myself do this, but I pulled this bracket. This is the one that was underneath the master cylinder here, and pulled that out of the way. I moved the proportioning valve right there in that corner. I just drilled a hole in the side there, and let's see if I can get a focus on it. Yeah, right there. I drilled a hole in the side here and put a bolt through, and should be in good shape. I didn't actually have to disconnect any brake lines, which was great. Those are those flexible brake lines down there that hook to that, so worked out. Now I need to put that back on. That's the reservoir for the hydraulic clutch. Luckily I didn't put any fluid in that yet. I think before I do that, I'm going to finish putting the bolts into the headers and move the brake lines down there that the headers are running into. So that's next. Alright, there was no way I was filming this, so Let me show you what I did. This is the rear brake line here, and I put this bracket in. Basically just pushed this. It was sitting up against the header here, and I just pushed it back here and held it, and put the bracket in with a self-tapping screw. That's in a good spot now. And then the front one was sitting, let's see, sitting up against the header, like towards the top here. And so I pulled it back in here. What I did is I took a really big screwdriver and jammed it up in there and kind of bent it, and then somehow I got that self-tapping screw in there to hold it in place. So real mild bends in those, and put them where we needed them to. And now I just got to worry about this dude here. Not sure yet what I'm gonna do. So far I'm leaning towards just kind of pulling it out like this and pushing it as far to the inside of this wall as I can, and then putting some heat shielding on it all around it. They have a wrap that I can put on it. I gotta get rid of that grommet, I'm not using it. And then the other thing I was thinking about is right now this kind of angles up as it comes out of the bell housing. I'm wondering if I could flip it or something. I'm not sure. But that leaves the bleeder that I was just on there. That leaves the bleeder facing the opposite direction if I do that. So I'm not sure. I might be able to bend this. I don't really want to. I'm afraid of damaging it some way. So I reach out to Silver Sport and see what they think. Okay, I ended up taking this. I took this off, took a look inside there. What we're looking at, it has a pretty long tube here. Sorry, a tube that goes into the throwout bearing and all that. So I was able to kind of hold it and pull on it and just give it a little bend so that I get some clearance down here. Now you can see I can get underneath this pretty well. Just put some heat shielding around it. It's already the stainless, which is nice, but I still want to put some heat shielding around it, and then I'll have something just kind of hold it underneath the actual exhaust. And then get up here. I threw the rest of the spark plugs in. Wasn't too bad with these headers. I did have to get a little bendy guy and come in from this way to get that one in, but otherwise the other two were straightforward, just like they were before. But now I can throw the spark plug wires in. So let's get that a go. All right, I didn't end up filming this, but I threw the spark plug wires on. Just couldn't really film it because I needed to have it up on my phone to where the firing order is. So you have 1, looks like 3, and then it goes through that way counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the numbers on the cylinders. So just ran them that way. I'm gonna get some wire separators, make them look nice, kind of sitting something like, yep, I'm getting them mixed up here, hold on. Sitting something like that, but a little closer together. And I'll do that on the other side as well, get them nice and neat, tidy up the other wires, and goddamn, just need a little bit, just need to get that fuel finished and get a starter back there, battery, radiator, a couple hoses, and we'll be looking good.